And what needs to improve in blockchain for, I mean, say, payments on blockchain to feel like as seamless as Google Pay or Apple Pay or Visa card or MasterCard payments?
Honestly, I think we're there. Like, I don't actually think we need things to improve right now. Like, when I currently think about like the wallet that we have, it's an embedded wallet. You can use social logins to log in. You can put 2FA
Mm,
in front of it, and now you're literally just logging in. And when you log in, you can just see a balance. And when you want to transfer money, we don't need to have like a system that has like a bunch of pop-ups the way we do. You have these idea of like what we call like smart sessions, right? And it's the same thing on like your account. So for like when you first sign a transaction on your wallet, and by the way, it doesn't need to be like some pop-up. It's just sign your transaction the way you would pay. Just hit pay. And that is,
right.
signing your transaction. And you can agree that for the next like 30 days, you want to be able to continue to do that and not be able to like have to sign a new transaction every time, right? And so you would agree to that. And now you just have like a normal payments flow. So from my perspective, like nothing actually needs to improve when it comes to like the everyday like payment experience. There are things though that I think we need to do to like help make it easier and better.
Okay.
And actually on the back end more than anything else. So, if you're a company today, you ideally would have a way to better do accounting of, everything that is on chain, handle like taxes for everything that happens on chain. I think that to me is like that back end work is the most important thing that we need to be able to solve, because I actually think the user experience right now, while
Okay.
a lot of crypto is not good, there's no reason it needs to be that way. It can be like incredibly smooth and like not feel different from what exists today.
Mark, you said basically user experience is already at that level of, let's say, Apple Pay, Google Pay, and etc. Then why are we still using more fiat than crypto? Or even if we look at stablecoin payments, very recently I read an article by McKinsey. It's still very, very small portion of overall, I mean, global money movement. Why is that the case?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. So I think there's a few parts of it. First is it is only recently that we got to this point of it being that good, right? Like I
Right.
think if you asked me this a year ago, I would not have said that like we are at the point where we're ready. I think that's true today. Which, once you get to that point, now you're talking about like years of adoption to really catch up to where we are. I think second is you also have this like regulatory hurdle, right? Until the Genius Act being passed, there wasn't much stablecoin activity going on for like real world uses. There's a lot of like trading, but not a lot for like real world usage. And so to me, these two things coming together of like technically actually being ready, along with like the regulatory front being at a point where we can actually see that adoption in a comfortable way by, businesses. Now we're actually like ready to do that. And to me, this is why when you look at charts, what you see is just like massive like exponential growth. And so I think that number when you go like 12, 24 months from now is going to look just incredibly different. And we won't be asking ourselves that same question. It'll be more like, oh, so at what point was it that we started seeing that exponential growth and why? And it'll, I think, clearly be because the tech was ready. And I think from a regulatory perspective, we got the clarity we needed.